We see ourselves as part of a world family, and we believe in the best parts of human nature. We practice respect for each other. This is evident in the room that we are sitting in today and all of the countries and cultures that are represented here, and our desire to learn more about each other and to see that over the next 2 days.
As we thought about the broader context of this remarkable community, as Mayor Malloy has just described it, with its incredible diversity and its commitment to peace through sustainable opportunity for all, we decided that Fairfield needed a celebration.
In his book, Compassionate Civilization, Robertson Work has asked two simple, direct, essential questions. The first one is, what if? What if, as we consider our future and where we're going next, our individual and our social goals, what if we were to envision a world without hunger, a world without pollution, a world even without warfare? What if that was our mental picture of where we wanted to be next, of where we wanted to seat ourselves in the future? What if that guided our actions? Second question Robertson asks is, why not? Why not commit ourselves to a compassionate civilization in how we think, how we act, how we choose, how we invest, how we vote, how we lead? For Robertson Work, these are not idle musings. He's invested his entire life in the improvement of our world, traveling to villages and slums, towns and cities in 55 countries, facilitating community organization, leadership development. He's a New York University adjunct professor for innovative leadership. For 16 years, he serves as a United Nations consultant on sustainable development. He is, as I said, an author, and his book will be available this afternoon if you would like, and an activist. Previously, he was the United Nations Development Program's principal policy advisor on decentralized government, local control, and the executive director of the Nonprofit Institute of Cultural Affairs. It is with the most profound pleasure that we introduce you to Robertson Work. Thank you.
Compassionate action is not just a feeling. It's not just feeling sorry, or it's not about pity or sadness or sorrow. It is decisive action that I or you or someone takes to help relieve the suffering of another living being. Could be oneself or another being. I believe that compassionate action is the key to the future of life on earth. You and I live in the most critical time in human history. Do you believe that? I do. Others times thought they were it. They were wrong. This is it. How did we get born in the most critical moment of human history? Wow. Oh my God. It's scary. It's overwhelming.
So first is Dee Sandquist, and she's going to be talking about hunger and that sustainable development goal. Dee is a dietitian here, works with our local Hy-Vee grocery, but she's also a Jefferson County supervisor. Please welcome Dee Sandquist.
Good morning. I guess the key message that we'll talk about today is a conversation can be a catalyst. I've found that you never know when a conversation will spark an idea, which leads to action. So we'll talk more about how we do that. 2 years ago, I started a hunger dialogue, and it's a very diverse group of people. The beauty about the hunger dialogue is it's not an official group. We're not a 501c3 nonprofit. We're just people that care about hunger and food insecurity.
Next is Kelly Danaher. She's an assistant professor of psychology at Iowa Wesleyan University, and she'll be talking about gender equality issues. Kelly.
Thank you, Richard. Good morning, everyone. As Richard said, I'm Kelly Danaher. I'm an associate professor of psychology at Iowa Wesleyan University, and my co-leader is Sarah Sullivan Gomez, right back there. She is an assistant professor of social sciences, also at Iowa Wesleyan. And we are going to be fortunate enough to share with you in a really important topic. We're going to be talking about gender equity, and specifically in our workshop, we're going to be talking about how gendered language can contribute to gender disparity. We hope you can join our workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Next is, you met earlier, Morad Malik. Morad is professor of business at Marsh University, a native of Iran, and he'll be talking about consumption. Morad.
Good morning, everyone. So this afternoon we will have a workshop on goal, specifically on goal number 12, which is responsible production and consumption. We will talk specifically what sustainability really means and what does responsible here means. Why does it matter? This is goal number 12 of the 17 goals, and it aims to ensure a sustainable consumption and production pattern. Its importance among all the other 16 goals is significant. Why? Because more than half of the other goals are really striving for the betterment of the life and bringing the people who are already in poverty and bring them to the middle class. This is good for the prosperity of individuals. However, it will increase the demand of already constrained natural resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Maura. Next, you've heard from Robertson. You want to say just a word about your workshop to continue this afternoon, Robertson?
Yes, the workshop will deal with the SDG number 17, which has to do with partnerships for development. So we'll be looking at, and Nancy Trask will be working with me on it. Nancy, are you here? Yeah, right over here, yes. Nancy knows these methods. So we'll be looking at how to create partnerships among the sectors, public sector, private sector, civil society, and local community, these four. We'll be looking at how to strengthen the movement of movements. And then we'll be focusing on innovative leadership methods of integral thinking, how to transform mindsets, behavior, cultures, and systems. Also, the technology of participation, how to do strategic planning in your community. And also social artistry, how we transform communities in terms of their perception of sensory reality, psychological, mythic, and unitive reality. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Please come.
Thank you, Robertson. Next, we're really happy to have Bob Mueller with us, and he's representing the area of immigration and have a strong panel in that area. Bob?
Good morning. I'm Bob Mueller. You might have been expecting another guy. He's a couple years older, a couple inches taller. He was busy in Washington, though, and he calls his name Mueller. I'm an Illinois refugee and recent member of Iowans in Mount Pleasant. Iowans started in 2015 in reaction to the Syrian refugee crisis with plans to adopt a Syrian family. Those plans did not pan out, but they got their chance when ICE did a raid on May 9th. They were up to the challenge. Today I'll be moderating a panel on immigration and refugees. On the panel we have Summer Alchin, an immigration attorney from Muscatine, Iowa, Maria Briesco, Deputy State Director for the League of United Latin American Citizens, luckily I can say LULAC, and David Suarez, head of LULAC in Ottumwa and now a U.S. citizen.
Thank you, Bob. Now this will be a sneak peek in getting introduced to Tom Morgan. Tom is a member of our community here. He's for many years been an intercultural communications consultant, very successful. He's worked with Fortune 500 companies. In fact, we were talking the other day about how Tom had worked with members of Cirque du Soleil before they sent members off to Bahrain, to Korea, and to China. So really an extraordinary career, and he's going to be sharing some of that with us in a keynote right after lunch at 1 o'clock. But then Tom will also be doing workshops after that. So good morning, Tom, and want to say a few words?
Thank you, Richard. Wonderful to see you all here today. So as Richard said, I'm an intercultural communication consultant, and the field I'm in is called intercultural communication. It's about what happens when we come together and we're trying to communicate with each other, but each of us is looking through a lens that was shaped by our unique upbringing, and that lens tends to be almost completely unconscious to each of us. The other person we're communicating with is looking through a different lens that's also unconscious to them. So the field that I'm in studies what happens when we're trying to communicate, given the fact that we're looking through these filters, these lenses that color our perception and our ability to communicate with each other.
Thank you, Tom.